Hello, I'm Mrs. Getz and I am your child's math teacher this year. So first, a little bit about me. This is a picture of me and my husband Connor. Connor is also a teacher. He's a history teacher in the Wayzata district, and this is our dog Joanna. I am a graduate of Luther College and got my master's in education and STEM at St. Kate's, and this is my 5th year teaching math at Chippewa. So for intermediate algebra, here's what we will be learning this year. Starting with semester 1, we do a little bit of review from middle school algebra, the course that your child took last year, starting with just a little bit of review with solving equations, linear equations, systems, and towards the second part of semester 1, we start our intermediate algebra specific content. So our goal with intermediate algebra, as I explained the difference between middle school algebra and intermediate, is middle school algebra is strictly linear equations, and as we get into intermediate algebra, we start working with these curvy functions that are no longer just straight lines. So a few course materials. Students will always get a note packet for each unit, and since my intermediate students are hybrid, they'll always get these packets in school. They'll also need a pencil each day at home or in class. They also received a whiteboard from Chippewa this year that teachers put together for students. So I've got some spare markers here, but another material they'll need are some markers, especially for their at-home days when we're working on whiteboards. It's always good to have some extra paper, whether that's a notebook or just some loose leaf paper, in case they lose their note packet or just are writing down some scratch work as we're doing an activity. And finally, the question I get often about these graphing calculators. For my course this year, Intermediate Algebra, I do not require these calculators. Often when students start at the high school, they will be asked to get a calculator like this. You're more than welcome to get one, but we will use a free calculator called Desmos on our Chromebooks the most this year. So do not need one of these calculators yet. Where can we find things? For students will see in the top of their Google Classroom something called the course calendar. When they open this up, here's what this looks like. So based on their period, the lesson that they had that day, they can click open the lesson and look at, we call it the daily document, the list of steps that they did in class. So as students look at this calendar, this should also help them see when they have math each week. So they'll get math twice a week for 100 minutes, whether that's at school or at home. Aside from my period 7 kids, who will have math all 4 days of the week. Don't worry about this schedule. We have it down. Students have it down. So for you as a parent, you are welcome to find all communication for grades and assignments in Parent View. This course calendar will be linked with every assignment that's posted in there. So you can also open this up and access the things that your student did at school that week. So grading in intermediate algebra, we have, first off, practice, our 20% practice category. Practice assignments are completely based on completion as students complete these in our classroom. So you'll see a score out of 4. 4 out of 4 would mean they fully completed this, and going down the scale down to a 1, which would mean nothing is completed. So if you see a 1 or a missing assignment, that would tell you the student did not start this assignment. And we also will do some check-ins, which will be based on correctness in this practice category. So that could be out of a different total, not always 4. And this is just going to show where students are at midway through a unit on certain learning targets. Our 80% category, our performance category, will just contain our unit tests. So a couple of things on unit tests this year. Before or the day of the test, students should have all of their practice in from that unit. And of course, the unit test will be based on correctness, as you see that score in the grade book. There's also always an opportunity for relearning as students take tests in this class. So in order to relearn or take a retake, students need to complete all of the practice from the unit, make test corrections on the unit test that they just took, and then schedule a retake time with me. I would love to help your child. Although students are learning from home half of the days of the week, we still want students to know we're here to support them and we're here to help them. So Flex Fridays are the days that I see this working the best. Students are just working on their 4 core classes, math, ELA, science, and social studies, and teachers have a lot of built-in time to work with students on this day. So if students reach out to me looking for some extra help, we can definitely schedule either in person or virtually. We can schedule some extra practice or some extra time together to work through some math. And finally here, I always do this during pin night, and I know we're online this year, but school is very different this year for students, for many reasons, obviously, but I want your student to know that your support as their parent or their family member does not end when your child is at school. So if you wouldn't mind to write a small note of encouragement to your child and email me with the subject line, a special note too, I will hand this out to your student if I ever notice that they're having a tough day or needs a quick pick-me-up. So of course not required, totally optional, but if you'd like to send me a small note of encouragement for your child, it's really fun to watch kids light up when they see that you're also supporting them within their classroom. And finally, if you have any questions after watching this presentation, just send me an email. My email is listed here below. Thank you so much. I look forward to a great year of learning with your child.